Hello and welcome to a very interesting episode of the ADickDid podcast. I've been kind of going through it, so to speak, the last couple days, weeks, months, my life. And most episodes probably won't go like this, but I figured this might be an interesting platform to help me work through some shit. I I always knew, not always knew, but I learned that I was an addict around the age of, honestly, maybe like 13, 14. I noticed that like if I get something I really want, I just need more of it and more of it and more of it until it's like an unhealthy, sick obsession with something. And I I don't know, I was sitting here just trying to play fucking Halo and I couldn't focus. I, I was just getting bottom of the team because I kept thinking about all these different things that are like going on in my life. One of which is I have recently relapsed on alcohol, and that's something that I quit for over a year. I was getting pretty happy with myself, having a clearer mind, a healthier body, and honestly doing a lot better in my day-to-day life. And I don't know, like work shit at my regular day-to-day job and relationships with my friends and family and excuses that I just keep making have kept justifying me making these behavioral things in my life that I genuinely need to change. And I guess I was sitting here spiraling thinking about how I never noticed that I always expect people to do more for me than I do for them. And I don't want to like speak poorly on anyone, but there are people in my life that really did like a lot for me, and there are people who did like almost nothing for me. So it because I'm such like an addict of the good things, I try to forget about the people who did nothing for me and I just focus on like all the good people have done for me. So when I have a lack of those things, I go into a deeper depression when in reality I'm having a great day, I'm doing fine, everything's good, but I am lost in what I'm not getting, I guess, and that's so unhealthy and sick of me to be like that. I hate to think that I act that way, but it's just something I'm trying to learn to cope with. I I spent a lot of my adult life being addicted to alcohol, and I used that as a coping uh, mechanism, which is not really coping. I I heard it best from someone recently. I was listening to the So All Right podcast that Jeff Ramsey does, and he was talking about how you just start drinking because you're miserable, and then you're miserable because you're drinking, and it's like a sick circle. And I've never really heard it described better than that. Um, I I need to be able to control my life and make better decisions for myself. And I'm hoping that if I can stay true to this podcast and explaining the stories of my addictions, that it'll help me work through that stuff and actually become a better person. Because I do believe in change. I've seen people in my life make drastic changes from some of the bottom of the bucket worst decisions to healthy living, children, families, and having careers. And I know it's possible. I just feel like I'm stuck right now. I I very much need an outlet that's healthy for me, and I think everybody does. I think everyone should have their their hobbies, their passions, so to speak. But I have a habit of making a passion or something I love into an addiction in a bad way, where I just get so into it that I start cutting people out. I start not doing normal things like that you should do in your day-to-day life. I become like a hermit for that thing. My current one that I'm trying to work through, because I didn't think it was really possible or true, but then I realized like some people are just addicts and I'm just an addict, so I have to monitor myself and my moderate like my intakes, and I'm definitely becoming aware that I'm addicted to smoking weed, and that's not something I wanted to be. I really didn't. I used it to have a good time on weekends and parties with friends, and then I kind of woke up 6 years later, and now I'm smoking 3 to 4 bowls a day. I wake up, I smoke. I go to lunch, I smoke. I just use it to get by at this point, and that's not good. I've ruined a good thing because I can't like monitor myself. I ruined a very good thing because I am needy. Because I'm this, honestly, I just feel like a problem at this point, and it's really hard to like find a solution. When all you see is the bad you're doing, it's really hard to see through and see what you can do right. With alcohol, I've relapsed 2, 3, 4, 5 times. I've quit over 6 months multiple times, and like I know that doesn't seem like a long time for people who don't struggle with addiction, but if you have an addiction, you realize like the first 3 to 6 months is like the hardest, and I keep getting to that like hardest point and breaking like a fucking loser. And I've quit for over a year twice, and I've never felt better than both those years without it, and I keep not finding a way to stay away. I keep explaining it in my head of like, oh, you can just have one drink and move on, but I can't. I'm not one of those people that can just have a drink and move on. I have the one, and then I have to have the second. I have to have a third. I have to have a fourth. I drink a whole 6 pack. I start doing art, and I think I'm doing it for good reasons. I justify it by like, oh, the glass of wine puts me in my painting mood, or the fucking 6 beers makes me mix my resin better, or whatever the fuck bullshit I want to tell myself. But it's all lies. It's all avoidance techniques to stop myself from moving forward. I'm stalling myself, and it's not good. I can mix resin without alcohol. I can paint without alcohol. And I need to remind myself I can live my life without these fucking things that I keep going back to. Back to the marijuana issue. I I also smoke with friends, so it's like it's the same as with alcohol. It's like once you drink with a group of friends or you smoke with a group of friends, like you're kind of just used to doing it with the social aspect, but I can't I can't stick to the social aspect. I do it with my friends and then I get home and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna smoke a bowl to myself and feel nice. I'm gonna watch a show and like not do anything for an hour because I think I deserve it and I don't. I've done nothing special today. I didn't put anything together. I didn't do my laundry. I haven't done dishes in 3 weeks. Like, what am I celebrating? What am I giving myself when I don't deserve these things? I have no savings technique, so when it happens, it feels nice. It's just it's just the life. It's just the routine now, and that's not something I want. it's okay to come home and do things once or twice every once in a while, but I shouldn't be like at work thinking about the fucking bowl I'm gonna smoke when I get home because I'm so tired or I'm stressed or whatever. I should think, oh, I'm gonna go home and like take care of myself, take a shower, like wash my face, like drink some water, eat real food, make a meal, do the dishes after I make that meal. Like, I don't know why I keep getting caught up in these little instant serotonin dopamine things other than the fact that I'm just lost. I'm an addict who's lost in what I feel like I can't get enough of when I have everything I could ever want. And it makes me feel disgusting. It makes me feel weak and small and absolutely fucking worthless to think that I need the instant dopamine or serotonin boost, whatever you want to, like, whatever it's called, in every moment, every day. It's not healthy for me. It's not healthy for anybody. Nobody should go every moment, every day trying to hit, like, get the peak hit of everything you could ever want. It's not safe because then you're constantly justifying every action, every decision you make. And once you're doing that, you can't even really trust yourself to do anything. And right now, I don't feel like I can trust myself to do anything. I feel like I am gonna hurt myself. I don't know. Not like in a suicidal way, but I feel like I'm just gonna keep putting myself down and down and down when there is so much good we could be doing in the world instead of getting caught up in these things. I want I want somebody to listen to this and hopefully come away with the inspiration from my stories to better their lives too. I'm tired of being selfish and in like this biggest ego mindset of I own the world, so because I keep giving myself these things that are like instant gratification. I feel like I'm God or some shit, and I don't know. I don't know why, other than I've lived this facade that I can do and get anything I want whenever I want. And in reality, I'm not getting anything I want. All I'm getting is the tiny hit, the drink, the whatever. When what I really want is a fulfilled life. I want to be happy at the end of the day. I want to be able to look back and say I did this and this changed the world or this changed a very big part of society. I want to I want to leave behind a mark that isn't forgotten when I die. I would rather be an artist who is celebrated more after I die than feel like I am nothing now and I'm gonna be nothing when I'm gone. I want to be able to inspire others to do the same and change the world and make this a better place because we live in such a fucked up world. There's so much wrong with everything. And I truly believe small portions in the right direction can change that. I really believe that if we like work together, we can change things. And I know I can't do it alone anymore because I've keep convincing myself that I can, and then I fall and I fall and I fall. But it not everyone can do things on their own. I certainly can do some things on my own, but it's it's coming more and more to my attention that I need help. I definitely need something. And if it's a podcast or a gaming video or a walk around the block, I need help in another way because trying to self-medicate is no longer a viable, it was never a viable option. It was a stupid thought to begin with that I could do it, and I can't believe that I kept doing it for so long. I should have changed those habits before it it felt so draining. I really want to try to make an effort to put out an episode every week. This will probably not be the first episode, but it is the first one I'm recording because I'm just sitting here, like I said, spiraling about all these things going on in my life. Another of which, like, I, I'm really worried that I'm either gonna have to find an. Never mind. That's a story for another time. We'll stick to alcoholism for the rest of this episode. Now that we're 15 minutes into nonsense of me spiraling. Um, I I started my alcoholism when I was about 17, 16, 17, 18, somewhere in there. And I have very vivid memories from then, but I also know that I've forgotten probably 10 times more than I remember. And at the time, you think, oh, I still remember yesterday, or I still remember this, so it's obviously not that bad, because like if it was that bad, I wouldn't remember anything. But that's that's like the short term. You have to think on a bigger scale. And now I'm at a point where I vividly remember basically traumatic moments, and that's not good. I should be able to remember good and fun times. And it's not that I can't. There are definitely some memories like that, but the majority of like the big hits when I think back to drinking is traumatic, like why the fuck did I do that, or why, what was going on in that time kind of shit. And like one of my first memories of drinking harder than I probably should have was I was sitting in my mom's living room watching TV, and she's like watching TV with me. I think she's either doing a coloring book or like beadwork. She used to make these cute little trees out of like wire and beads. I don't know if she still makes them, but we're sitting there and we're watching TV, and I'm just drinking like vodka straight in a cup. Like I'm like 17 or 18. Like why am I drinking vodka straight from a cup at that age? And I'm like taking basically shots out of this cup, and I very vividly remember there being like maybe a fifth to a third of this bottle left, and I know my mom was joking with me and she didn't actually mean it, but she was like, "What are you a?" She's like, "What? You're taking shots? What are you, a pussy?" And I remember just drinking the rest of the bottle, just finishing it, and I don't remember anything after that night. But it's not like it was. I don't know why I'm trying to justify it. It was a terrible decision. It was fucked. I shouldn't have done that. My mom, knowing my prove them wrong attitude, probably shouldn't have said that to me. But I also can't blame her for my choices. I could have been an adult and just said, I don't want to do that. Like I just want to drink the shots to feel better or whatever. And even then, that's a stupid thing I shouldn't have done. Um, and I don't know like what to do to like fix myself, because I keep having that like I gotta prove them wrong attitude. And that's the other justification in my alcoholism is I get caught up in, oh, I can prove it to them that I can drink and not have a problem. And it's like, why do I keep getting caught in that thought? I should just stick to one side of the equation and be like, I can't do it, so I just don't drink. It's like I should be able to tell myself I don't drink, just like I wouldn't do heroin, just like I won't do meth. Like it should be on the same level. Not saying they should be treated the same for everyone else. I'm just saying I should be able to put them on that same level and be like, this is just bad and it's not going to help me and I'm not going to get anywhere out of it. Uh, Another um, problem with the whole like drinking is I people always give alcoholics a bad name for being like angry drunks or this or that a lot of the time, and it's like I was never angry while I was drunk unless someone like really pissed me off. Like I definitely was pretty good-hearted and happy when I'm drunk, but the issue is like apparently the next day I'm in like a really shitty mood after I drink, and that was something I just didn't want to come to terms with for a really long time. But I'm definitely like a complete asshole and a monster the next day after I drink. I don't know why. Well, I know why. It's like scientifically, it's the lack of hydration. Like your body's going through different like. I guess I don't know why. I don't. Never mind. I don't know why. I'm not a scientist. I don't fucking know. But I just know that it fucks me up, and I shouldn't keep justifying that I'm okay when I'm drunk to cover for the next day because that's not how it works. We should be focusing on what's going to happen next, not what's happening in the moment. And I know that's like really hard for a lot of people, but genuinely we should be focusing on what's going to happen after our decisions are made instead of how is this decision going to make me feel in the moment, because truly that's sick behavior. It's childish. It's disgusting, and I'm tired of feeling like I'm a child when I'm 27 years old. It's been it's been like 10 years of alcoholism minus like the little bits I've quit, and that's not fair to myself. I don't get to give myself those little bits because I guess I didn't quit. I relapsed. Here I am drinking again, and I'm hoping that this episode motivates me to quit. I don't know. That seems also childish to think that it would do that, but I can hope. Uh, I the last time I quit for a year was because I was going through probably the hardest breakup of my life. I truly feel like I am still in love with this person and that I want to be with them, but I just know that's just not the case anymore. But I was going through that really bad breakup, and I took her home one night, and I was just like on my way back to my place, having a fucking meltdown to myself about how I wasn't going to be able to get her back. So I just went to the bar to play pool, and I just walked up to the bartender and I think I said like, give me a double of Jack or a double of tequila, something. I don't know what it was, but I know I took like 3 or 4 double shots, played some pool, went back, got beers, and I just kept slamming these drinks, playing pool with these random people, getting way too close to people that I probably shouldn't be near. And I remember waking up in my bed the next day. Or not in my bed, sorry. I remember waking up on my couch the next day. Uh, Drier than the Sahara Desert. More dehydrated than like a camel who's never had a sip of water in his life. I had to find my vehicle. I didn't have my phone. Uh, and I lost one of my one of my headphones, goddamn wireless headphones. And it's like tiny little shit. Yeah, I know I shouldn't be upset about it, but like Those two worked together. Never mind. We're not going to get into that. That's a story for another day. So I wake up and I like go out the door um, into the front yard, and it's like fuck, maybe middle of uh, April, May, June, July. I think it was June, middle of June, and it's like hot as balls outside. And I remember just wondering where the hell everything came from. How did I get here? And I'm walking outside and my truck's not there. And I'm like, okay, that's new for me. I've never lost a vehicle before. I've never lost a vehicle before, and I've certainly never lost a fucking phone. So I'm like walking around town back to the bar where I was at, thinking, oh, maybe I left my truck at the bar, and I walked home like a good noodle. Uh, my truck is not at the bar. I'm wondering what the fuck happened. I'm walking through the bar, like looking for my phone. My phone's not there. I asked the bartender if I can look at the security footage to see if I notice anything happen. They tell me they can't without a police report. Understandable, but also like I kind of need my shit. Like I don't know. I'm not asking for like people's details. I'm asking to see if someone took my shit. Um. Anyways, I'm so fucking like migrained out too. Like my head hurts so bad, and I'm just on the verge of what feels like vomiting because the smell of a bar after that just wrenches your stomach, twists it into like bubbly knots. It's so bad. And um I call my mom from the bar phone to like call my phone, see if I can find it. And it's not ringing, it's not there. I'm I'm just so disappointed in myself. So I'm trying to think really hard about what happened, and start. I think my mom started calling around like tow companies to see if they could find my truck. And there was a tow company that had my truck in like Independence or some shit, which is like 20-30 minutes from my home. So I'm like, how in the fuck is my truck in a towing company 20 to 30 minutes from my home? Turns out, I left my truck in a 7-Eleven parking lot 2 blocks away from my house, about a block away from the bar. So what happened was I left the bar to the 7-Eleven. I got out of my truck in the 7-Eleven, or at the 7-Eleven, went into 7-Eleven. I don't know what the fuck I did in 7-Eleven because 7-Eleven also wouldn't let me see the fucking camera footage without a police report. It's me. I'm trying to watch me, people. Like, okay. Uh, and I I remember like asking them about it, and they said they like I don't know. They said because it stayed overnight, they had to tow it, and I'm like, okay, whatever. You, if that's your policy, that's your policy. $462 later, I have to get my truck out of a tow company that towed it from my town to 30 minutes away for what ungodly reason I don't know. Um, I've so what I've found out at this point is I've had my phone stolen because it's nowhere to be found. Uh, we're like doing the GPS for it, and it's like also in like a 20-30 minute area away from town where I did not go. My truck was not there. I didn't drive there. I don't know why my phone would be there. But we couldn't get my phone from where we thought it was. So I have my phone stolen. I lost a headphone running home from leaving my truck at 7-Eleven. My truck got fucking repoed. Or not repoed, but towed to, yeah, wherever the fuck. So like basically $1,500 later, I've realized I'm a fucking retard. I'm an absolute idiot, and I just I just couldn't be more like disappointed in myself for letting me do that. So I quit for a year. I I had a really good track record of not drinking, and I felt really good about it. I cut a lot of people out of my life because they drank basically anytime they could, and I couldn't be around that if I wasn't going to drink. And then I started going through some stress at work about a month ago now, and I was just sitting here at my desk with an existential crisis thinking, can I have that one drink to feel better and get my head out of this spiral that I'm in? And it was not happening. I had the one drink, and I had two drinks, and here I am, however long later, and I just keep drinking like almost every day because I'm an addict. And that's just something I have to admit to myself. I am an alcoholic and an addict. I'm I'm I don't think anyone I know is probably going to listen to this. But if anyone I had to cut out of my life hears this, I want you to know I'm sorry for the missed birthday parties, the missed New Year's celebrations, Christmas parties, the Friendsgivings, all of that, the Halloween parties and stuff that we used to do. I'm sorry for missing all of that. I am. I'm sorry that I have to like cut a lot of you out almost completely because if I don't, I'm gonna relapse again. And it's not your fault. It's not. It's mine. And I'm sorry that it's gonna take me longer than I would like to maybe rebuild those friendships because I really truly want to keep these people in my life. I love you all dearly. You are all amazing people, and I really am the problem here. I have a problem here, and I have to do things that no one really likes to be able to fix those problems. I don't want to go into another depression. I don't want to go into another bipolar mania episode because I can't handle my own emotions or my own decision making. I want to grow as an adult, and I have to make adult choices now. Should have been making them for the past 10, 12 years, 17 years, so many years. I should have been an adult for a long time. Uh, I think I need to find a way without alcohol again. I have to find a way without alcohol again because if I don't, I'm gonna just keep spiraling into the bad place. And I want to build something good. If you're listening to this and you're hoping that I will do more of this, I absolutely will. Uh, I will dedicate my time to making this over drinking. I will dedicate my time to making content over my addictions. I just need I just need one person. I just need somebody to tell me that I'm doing the right thing. Because I can't be alone anymore. I I have learned that being alone is only making things worse. And I want to learn. I want to grow, adapt, and become a better person, not just for me, but for society, for the world. I don't want to be a blight. I want to be I want to be bright, not a blight. Ha 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 ha. Okay. I think I'm gonna call it good for this episode and hope that you'll come back to listen to the next one. Thank you so much for hearing me out and listening to my rambling of addicted chaos. I hope that by the next episode I put out, maybe I can have a little more focus or a little more foundation to start with, because I know this is going to come out kind of choppy and whack. But if you do want me to do more, please let me know, and I will absolutely do more. Regardless, I will be putting out another episode next week. Thank you again for listening, and I really hope that you have a lovely, lovely rest of your day.